He's saying this.
All you do is spew facts because you think that trumps what's happened to me in my life.
I spew facts?
All you do is spew facts. That's all you do.
I like you. A little bit more now.
Yeah, facts like statistics. Shit you've read in an article.
Is he meaning?
Is he meaning? You have no idea how the actual effect it has on the American people.
Is he meaning to say
sit
this?
in office all day trying to debate people?
Is he meaning to say this? Bud,
he actually.
I am meaning to say this. All you do all day is read articles and get statistics, so you can debate people and smile while you debate it because you think you're better, which you're not.
I don't think I'm better than you. I just think I'm smarter than you.
You're not. Just because you read statistics all day doesn't mean you're smarter. Just because you read statistics all day doesn't mean you're smarter.
Okay.
And that's a fucking liberal thing to say.
Okay. All right.
Just because you read statistics doesn't mean you're smarter.
Education does not make you more intelligent. I couldn't disagree more.
Education doesn't make you intelligent. You learn things so you have more knowledge. That's it. But that doesn't make you smarter.
Are you sure that you want to defend that premise that education doesn't make you more intelligent?
It doesn't, because I know a lot of people that went to college that I know more than them. Just because you went to college for 4 years and studied how to teach kids doesn't mean you know more than me.
Okay, now here's the explanation.
Guys, if you ever get in an argument with a liberal, I do this all day in comment sections, my own videos, other people's videos. If you ever get in an argument with a liberal, let me explain how you win one, okay? Liberals are usually college educated, typically. At least Democrats. Liberals might just be off their meds, but Democrats are usually educated. So they have book smart, okay? They have book smarts. They know statistics, and they know facts, and they only know stuff that they read in a book, okay? When they get in your comments or they start being rude to you, here's how you win. Don't speak facts. Don't speak statistics. Speak common sense. As soon as you speak common sense, they get frazzled.
So let me just get this straight. She just acknowledged that when you receive an education, you're more likely to be a Democrat, and Democrats generally are more educated, more informed, more knowledgeable, well-read, and more factual. You know what? I agree with her on that stuff specifically. And her response being hit him with common sense just means hit him with Trump talking points, because in the far right's mind, that's what common sense is. We live in such a crazy time where someone like that can acknowledge that Democrats are more educated and more factual, and she still stays on Trump's side. She doubles down, saying it's common sense to be a Republican when every other indicator is telling her that that's wrong, and she acknowledges that.
Isn't that a fucking trip, yo? So that guy did mean what he was saying, but he just didn't understand because that girl explained, oh, but as long as you have common sense, you're still smarter. I swear, these cuckoo people, they're so cuckoo. Remember this? Piece of shit kid. Well, this is what I have to say to them.
Party together. They were neighbors. Epstein said he was Trump's closest friend for 10 years. In fact, Epstein's infamous Little Black Book included 14 different numbers for Trump and his representatives. I mean, he had 14 separate ways to contact Donald Trump. These guys didn't just party together. Epstein was a part of some major milestones in Trump's life.
Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump.
Trump was a frequent passenger on Epstein's plane, known as the Lolita Express. And Epstein told author Michael Wolff the first time he slept with Melania was on my plane.
And that is how I met your mother, Baron.
Boom, bitch. Suck on that, Baron, you piece of shit. Here's a cool fun fact I found.
Hi. Auntie Bev here with another word to help you build your vocabulary. The word is trumpery. Yes, it's a real word. I kid you not. Look it up in the dictionary. Trumpery is a noun, and it means it looks good, it's showy, but it's worthless. Now, trumpery has French roots, and in French, it means deceit. Using trumpery in a sentence, I would say, Diana was so excited when she received her engagement ring from Carl, but it turned out to be trumpery because he purchased it at the dollar store. Or, the big, beautiful bill recently passed by Congress may be awesome to some, but to others, it's nothing more than trumpery. Trumpery.
Bitch.
It looks good, but it's worthless. Add that word to your vocabulary bank and make it your time, your shine. Auntie Bev speaks.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, please.
Sir, yesterday you said that you were not sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out?
Well, I haven't thought about it because we're looking at Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have not gone into it.
What does it say that such a big decision could be made inside your government without you knowing?
I would know. If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know. In fact, most likely I'd give the order, but I haven't done that yet. Yeah, please.
Y'all make no sense.
Can you explain how you calculated your latest round of tariffs? Was there a formula that was used? And do you expect any of these countries to face tariffs as well?
The formula was a formula based on common sense, based on deficits, based on how we've been treated over the years, and based on raw numbers. And we're going to have a couple of more coming out today. Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us, not good at all. We're going to be releasing a Brazil number, I think, later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But they're based on very substantial facts and also past history. You look at the past history, we never had anybody in the White House that understood the numbers or were into it like I.
Can you explain how you calculated your latest round of tariffs?
Fucking dingus, man.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign.
Breaking news, there is a verdict at the civil trial against Donald Trump. She accused the former president of raping her in a department store dressing room back in the 90s.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Yeah, you guys. Are you guys
That
still
is
talking about this?
unbelievable.
All of these people are in power now. All of these people could certainly release the quote unquote list. Is it exactly a list? Is it a network of contacts? Is it video footage of people that committed crimes against children? We don't know. And we may never know, which is leading some people to ask the question, like, is Trump actually in the Epstein files? And personally, my take on that is no. But what is your opinion? Because I can't reconcile this Donald Trump with the Trump that we're seeing right now, the Trump that is gaslighting the public right now, the Trump that I voted for across multiple elections. The Epstein scandal is definitely terminal cancer to Trump's MAGA movement. There's no question about that. I actually said to my husband this week, and we were talking about it, that in order for Trump to get out of this is how bad it is. In order for him to actually make the MAGA base forget this, like potentially move on from Jeffrey Epstein, he would essentially have to come right out and repeal income tax in the United States. And then we would be extremely happy. Everyone would be very happy. And then we'd go, actually, thanks, Trump, but we still remember the Epstein scandal and we want the list. That's how bad it is. There's just no making anybody forget about this Epstein scandal.
How bizarre. How bizarre. Now, this is the most intriguing, most powerful, this is the best Jubilee debater to date. And listen well.
Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Princella, the Queen Maker.
I love that.
So you say we live in a matriarchy.
Right.
Can you give me the definition of patriarchy?
Yes. Well, the patriarchy is the idea that the system, our system in America, is being run by men, and that women are having to exist under a system that immediately disadvantages them because men are behind it. And I disagree with that pointedly. I think actually we're living in a society where people are being very much influenced socially and politically by women.
Okay, so the denotative definition of patriarchy is father rule, and where positions of government are held majorly by men, where women are largely excluded. So 125 House of Representatives are female, and that's only about 25%.
Right.
And only about 28% make up Senate, and 3.3% of Congress up until this date have ever been women. So by denotative definition, we literally live in a patriarchy.
Yes, so I disagree with that. So I think what this gets to, which is actually an important part of the conversation, is that people always think that where there is disparity, there's somehow inequality, and I actually reject that entirely. I think it's just a difference in what we're interested in. I think we're biologically wired, we're interested in different careers, and just because if we looked in the fashion industry and said, oh, well, it's being dominated by women, it wouldn't mean that, okay, well, that means that the fashion industry is a matriarchy and men have no sense. It just means have no ability to communicate how they feel in the fashion industry. I literally think that those numbers show that we're just biologically different. So I actually think politically, women have shown that they have a lot more power than men have. And I'm talking about just in terms of political movements. The most recent I can think of is the Me Too movement, right? If a bunch of women get together and complain about a man and refer to the patriarchy and scream, generally speaking, let me know if you agree, the media will celebrate that. If a bunch of men got together and were shrieking and speaking about women, generally speaking, the media would call them all white supremacists and say that we had a misogyny problem and that things were really wrong in society. Women are allowed to be more vocal in general about problems than men are.
Well, let me speak to that. When we're talking about government and media, these are two different things. So under the denotative definition of a patriarchy, by the percentages that are occupied in the government, which is majority male, defines us as a patriarchy. Now, what it comes to for capitalism, for marketing purposes and control, for capital and revenue, that is a totally different conversation. But who's making the laws? I don't think that women are the ones voting to have their reproductive rights taken away, where you have rape, incest, and all of these things excluded to force women to be able to have. I don't think women in government would largely vote against their own interests because it's majority male. Patriarchy.
Okay, I think love that point. Are women allowed to vote?
Oh, of course they are.
Who's voting that patriarchy and then, out of curiosity?
No, I totally agree. And you want to know why? Because there are so many women who think like you. You submit to the idea of men ruling everything. And your ideology is spread across a lot of women who also falsely believe to vote against their own interests just to complain about it in the end. You know, earlier you said that, women would be much more happier working at home. But don't you agree that it's human nature to want things that you don't have? So during the 1950s, which is something that you constantly bring up, it wasn't until 1994 that it was legally illegal to beat your wife. And so what we're dealing with is people wanting something, and then when they get it, they're not happy with it, and then they have to revoke that idea for something else. And so what you're saying is that women vote for these things because they have the same mentality as you.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that women have the freedom to vote.
Yes.
And you're saying that women are still existing mentally, even with the freedom to vote.
Correct.
They are voting men in because we are still victims of...
No, I don't believe in victimhood. I believe in lack of education and lack of knowledge, because one of the things that you also say...
Do you think that it could just be that more men are running for positions of office?
No, not necessarily, because remember, the United States, the average reading comprehension of people in the United States is 6th grade. So we're not dealing with educated people. Lack of education is the cause for what we see in the world. And if we educate the women better, because a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and if she reading and comprehending at a 6th grade level and popping out a lot of kids, you know, because the brokest people in the world pop out the most kids. So if we have those people voting, of course they're going to vote against their interests, because they're voting for some utopian society that will never exist.
Okay, so that's why you think Kamala lost.
This ain't even about Kamala.
Because you're talking about women. No, but we had an opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had a male running and we had a female running. And we actually showed that Trump increased the amount of women who voted for him, right? So I'm asking you, do you believe that the reason that happened was because women became less educated during that time?
They've always been less educated. Did you know that UNESCO says that that 2/3 of the 7.7 million illiterate adults is women? Illiterate. And we have 6th grade educated people voting. And guess who? Guess the dominant population is white women. And so guess what? Now you have to add a race element into that, which you already know exists, because we as black folks, we ain't the dominant people voting people in. Okay, so now when we have to go into white supremacy and feminism, now you have to look at the mind of the people who actually have economic success and what they're voting for, because classism actually matters as well. So I'm sorry, but a lot of people vote based on their feelings and not based on policy.
Pause, guys.
Yes.
Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to the...
Thank you for the respectful conversation.
Hot damn, that was too good. That was fucking wow. So well said, so perfectly timed, like, whoa. That was fucking good, yo. And at one point, I thought I was really getting to Candace, because she was kind of like taking it in, but especially when she brought in the whole, and you know better that, you know, us being black folks. But then I think she kind of reminded herself, like, wait a minute, I'm the smart one here. Because then she kind of looked her up and down like she was crazy, like, oh, you're being crazy or something, which at first I was like, okay, wow, it's really getting to her, it's like something's hitting her. And then she fucking had to pull a whole like, okay, crazy girl kind of look. So I was like, oh god, what? I wish they would have like not shown that part, or just kept the camera on the Princella, is that her name? That was so impressive. I wish she had more time. I wish they had given her more time. That was beautifully said. That was on point. Awesome. A+.
They got your data, dumbass.
Do not come. Do not come.